Imagine being the CEO of one of the world's most valuable companies, but owning exactly 0% of it. No stock options, no equity, just a salary of $76,001 per year, barely more than an entry-level software engineer. Most people would call that insane. Sam Altman calls it his childhood dream job. This is the story of how OpenAI went from a struggling nonprofit that could barely pay its bills to a $500 billion empire that's leading the entire AI revolution. It's a journey that includes broken promises, a product that gained 100 million users faster than anything in human history, and a CEO who got fired on a Friday morning, only to have 700 employees threaten to destroy the company to bring him back. By the end of this video, you'll discover why owning 0% of a company can give you more power than owning billions in stock. You'll see how losing $5 billion a year somehow makes you worth $500 billion. And you'll understand why the most dramatic 5 days in tech history revealed the real secret behind OpenAI's dominance, a secret that has nothing to do with technology. But before we dive in, quick reality check. I launched this channel just a few months ago with absolutely no experience, no fancy equipment, no production team, just me trying to tell stories that matter about AI and technology. Every subscriber genuinely changes what's possible for this channel. My goal is 1,000 subscribers, and your support makes all the difference. Now, let's dive in. The unlikely beginning. December 2015. A group of tech visionaries gathered with an ambitious mission: create artificial intelligence that benefits all of humanity, not just the wealthy few. Sam Altman, Elon Musk, and a handful of brilliant researchers founded OpenAI as a nonprofit. The pitch was simple but powerful. Build AI so advanced it could rival Google, but keep it open and accessible to everyone. They promised to raise $1 billion to make this dream real. Elon Musk alone pledged a significant portion. It sounded like the beginning of something revolutionary. But here's what actually happened. By 2019, they'd only collected $130 million. Musk, despite his grand promises, contributed just $45 million before walking away in 2018, citing conflicts with Tesla's own AI ambitions. The dream was dying before it even had a chance to live. OpenAI was burning through money at an alarming rate. Training AI models costs millions. Running them costs even more. In 2017 alone, they spent $7.9 million just on cloud computing. Meanwhile, their revenue in 2020, a mere $1 million. They were trying to compete with Google and Facebook, companies with virtually unlimited resources, while operating on a nonprofit budget. Something had to change, or OpenAI would become just another footnote in tech history. The pivot that changed everything. 2019 marked a turning point. OpenAI made a controversial decision that would define its future. They created a capped profit subsidiary. It wasn't quite a nonprofit anymore, but it wasn't a traditional company either. Investors could make returns, but those returns were capped. The nonprofit arm would still maintain control over the mission. Critics called it a betrayal of their original vision. Elon Musk would later sue them for it. But without this move, there would be no OpenAI today. That same year, Microsoft saw an opportunity. They invested $1 billion and offered something even more valuable: access to Azure, their cloud computing infrastructure. This partnership gave OpenAI the computational power they desperately needed. Microsoft got early access to cutting-edge AI technology. It seemed like a fair trade. Sam Altman stepped in as CEO during this transition. And here's where his story becomes fascinating. He took zero equity, nothing. While every other tech CEO was accumulating billions in stock options, Altman negotiated a salary of just $76,001, literally the minimum needed for health insurance benefits. Why would anyone do this? Altman's answer was straightforward. This is my childhood dream job. He was already wealthy from early investments in companies like Airbnb and Uber. His net worth sits around $2 billion today, not from OpenAI, but from those other bets. He didn't need OpenAI's money. He wanted to build something that mattered. This decision would later save the entire company. The product that broke the internet. Fast forward to November 30th, 2022. OpenAI released ChatGPT to the public. No major marketing campaign, no celebrity endorsements, just a simple chatbot that anyone could try for free. What happened next stunned even OpenAI's own team. 1 million users signed up in 5 days. Within 2 months, ChatGPT had 100 million users, the fastest growing application in history. For context, it took Instagram 2.5 years to reach 100 million users. TikTok took 9 months. ChatGPT did it in 8 weeks. People weren't just curious. They were obsessed. Students used it for homework. Programmers used it to write code. Writers used it to brainstorm ideas. Companies started integrating it into their workflows. The world suddenly realized that AI wasn't some distant future technology. It was here, now, and it was useful. But here's the uncomfortable truth behind this success. OpenAI was losing money on every conversation. Each ChatGPT query costs a few cents to process, and they were processing billions of them. In 2024, with revenue of $3.7 billion, OpenAI lost $5 billion. They were losing more money than most companies even make in revenue. So how does a company bleeding billions become worth $500 billion? That's where things get interesting. The bet that changed everything. Investors weren't blind to OpenAI's losses. They understood something crucial. They weren't investing in today's business model. They were investing in tomorrow's infrastructure. Think of it like this. Amazon lost money for years while building the logistics network that now dominates online shopping. OpenAI is building the AI infrastructure that could power everything from healthcare to education to scientific research. The current losses are just the cost of building that foundation. The numbers tell the story. Revenue in 2020, $1 million. Revenue in 2024, $3.7 billion. Projected revenue for 2025, $12.7 billion. They're not just growing, they're exploding. By 2029, they're targeting revenues between $100 and $125 billion. In October 2024, OpenAI raised $6.6 billion at a $157 billion valuation. Just 5 months later, in March 2025, they raised $40 billion more at a $300 billion valuation, the largest private funding round in history. By October 2025, secondary sales valued the company at $500 billion. To put this in perspective, OpenAI is now worth more than 95% of S&P 500 companies, more than Coca-Cola, more than IBM, more than Cisco. Among private companies, only SpaceX is valued higher. But this meteoric rise almost ended before it could reach its peak. The 5 days that almost destroyed OpenAI. November 17th, 2023. The OpenAI board fired Sam Altman. No warning, no clear explanation, just a vague statement about him not being consistently candid with the board. The tech world went into shock. Altman was OpenAI. How do you fire the person who turned a struggling nonprofit into an AI powerhouse? Within hours, Microsoft offered Altman a position to lead a new AI division. But something unexpected happened. OpenAI's employees revolted. Over 700 of OpenAI's 770 employees signed a letter threatening to quit and follow Altman to Microsoft if he wasn't reinstated. Think about that for a moment. The employees weren't just loyal to a CEO. They were willing to destroy the company to bring him back. That's not normal corporate behavior. That's devotion. Here's why Altman's zero equity position mattered. He had nothing to gain financially from returning. No stock to reclaim, no options to exercise. When he negotiated his return, he did it purely because he believed in the mission, not because of money. 5 days after being fired, Altman was back. The board that removed him was replaced, and the company emerged stronger than before, proving that sometimes the right leader is worth more than any amount of capital. The current reality. Today, OpenAI processes 2.5 billion prompts every single day. They have between 700 and 800 million weekly active users. ChatGPT isn't just popular, it's become infrastructure. Students rely on it. Businesses depend on it. Researchers use it to accelerate their work. The company is now transitioning to a public benefit corporation structure, preparing for what many believe will be an eventual IPO. They're investing in Project Stargate, a $500 billion AI infrastructure project with Oracle and SoftBank. They're not just building AI models anymore. They're building the foundation for an AI-powered future. But the real story isn't about the technology or the valuations. It's about what happens when someone builds a company for the right reasons. Sam Altman could have taken equity. He could have made tens of billions of dollars. Instead, he chose a salary barely above an entry-level software engineer and poured everything into the mission. That choice created something remarkable. It aligned incentives in a way that traditional corporate structures can't match. When employees saw their CEO making personal sacrifices, they were willing to risk everything to protect the company's vision. When investors saw a leader who cared more about impact than money, they were willing to bet billions on that vision. OpenAI's journey from a struggling nonprofit to a $500 billion company isn't just a business story. It's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable thing you can own is something you can't put a price on, a mission worth fighting for. If you found this story compelling, please hit that like button and leave a comment below. What do you think? Would you take zero equity to run your dream company? Let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the companies and people shaping our technological future. Thanks for watching.